Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video, and today we're taking a look at SHIN Kamen Rider as a leader, and what do I think about him? Well, he's probably one of the best leaders we got in the game right now, so let's get into it. I got two videos here with two different Kamen Rider decks that are seeing a lot of success in the meta, and we will take a look at his abilities, how to use them, what do I think about him. So, first things first, Rider Kick is the name of his ability, the iconic Kamen Rider kick move that I just only recently learned about. Shout out to Discord. It costs 2 energy. It has a 150-second cooldown. Matches last 5 minutes. 150 seconds is what? 2 minutes and 30 seconds? You can use this twice in a match if you plan accordingly. You can use this once really early in the match and then once really late. However, a strategy that I like to use, or two of them, is I like to wait for a big push on the enemy leader, or I wait for Kiryu's Absolute Zero Cannon, and we will get into that in a second. This ability deals 350 damage in a circle and stuns all enemy units on the battlefield for 5 seconds. And then it makes Kamen Rider immune to damage and status effects while using the special move. That is what we are talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Immunity to damage and special effects. That is the kicker here, folks. Look at this on the screen right here on the Massacre side right there. I made his Kamen Rider and his Anguirus unable to attack, and I threw my Mogera down, get some free hits in. For 5 seconds, he was unable to attack me with his leader. You see how easily my Mogera was run down when he was able to hit me? There you go. That's all you got to do. I'm using two decks here. I'm using a leader spam deck on the left side, which I think is probably the best Kamen Rider deck at the moment. There are a few cheeky decks you can use. I'm using a deck made by Pans featuring Godzilla Earth because, of course it is. It was made by Pans. And it's been getting me some wins. It's a little bit more difficult to use, I would say, but I am going to wager that 90% of players who are playing Kamen Rider are going to end up evolving into some kind of list that either stuns the leader or stuns pushes. There's a lot of utility in Kamen Rider as a leader, regardless, I mean, not regardless, but outside of these two decks. For one, Kamen Rider retains knockback against flyers in his leader state. He makes it very, very difficult for enemy leader units, enemy flyer units to hit the leader. So, Mothra Leo coming to leader, he'll knock it back. Fire Rodan, knock it back. Batra, knock it back. Ridiculous. It's a really, really good ability to have, especially as a leader, to keep units away from you. And he doesn't even need to use his leader ability to do it. It's just passively in his kit that he will do knockback to flyers. That's fantastic. That already makes him in the leagues or in the runnings for one of the best. Now, being able to stop damage for 5 seconds from all sources, that is a ridiculous feat to accomplish, and you can use it in a ton of very creative ways. You can see on the right side of my screen here, I use the stopping leader damage to get some free hits on this not Space Godzilla. My Space Godzilla is hit by trains, but on this Mecha Godzilla, get some free hits from the Earth, and basically secure the win there. You can see in my battle against Massacre that I used it to spam his leader with units like Ultraman and Mogera and Kiryu to try to eat up some like easy leader damage, some free hits out of it with the free attack. What you might not also realize is that you can dodge Absolute Zero Cannons and Evangelion 01's leader ability, which puts down the 80% health negation onto your opponent, onto your allies, not your opponents, onto your allies, and you can avoid the GMK's debuff of getting, what is it, when he's a leader, minus 15% attack. You use this leader ability just right. When the Absolute Zero Cannon comes, you dodge it. You take 0 damage. Kiryu players will just leave. They just wasted 8 energy. You probably have a good push-up. You win, right? Evangelion leaders, they're not too concerned if you lose health or not, but I haven't seen it. I've seen it where the Kamen Rider doesn't take the debuff, but I am fairly certain with Kamen Rider, if you can stun the Evangelion leader unit while they're doing their ability, I believe you stop the ability from happening altogether. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm pretty sure that you could probably end up doing that. Other than that, at least your Kamen Rider leader won't be taking damage from it, which puts Kamen Rider in a tier above a lot of other leaders. He's passively knocking back flying units, which are notoriously some of the most dangerous units in the game. He is stopping all units from moving. He basically has fucking the world from JoJo. He basically has Dio stand, right? Where he just stops time for 5 seconds, at least for your enemy. Now, there is a caveat to the time stop. It freezes all of your enemies that are currently active on the battlefield. Any enemies placed after that field of stun comes down, will still be able to attack, and any enemy that was in an, I guess, I don't know how to say, an altered state and then gets into their actual state will not be affected. For example, in this video, I believe on the right side, this guy tries to use a Mogera on me, and the Mogera does not get stunned while he's in his effect state tunneling underground. And then when all the other enemy units are stunned right here, look. There's the Mogera. No, I didn't use it here. I use it eventually. The Mogera comes up while I put the stun in the field. The Mogera travels under me, and then he pops up because it doesn't count. Although I did use the stun while the Mogera was on the field, it doesn't count that as in the play space. So when that Mogera pops back up, my Kamen Rider leader was able to be attacked. So that'll happen if you drop this ability and then they throw a Kiryu on you. The Kiryu's not going to be stunned while all the other units might be stunned. It's as simple as that. You really have to time your shots with this leader ability. You can do some insane, massive plays and totally change the tempo of battle when you use this ability, or you can use it for some cheap and easy damage against the leader. Regardless, Kamen Rider this season specifically is going to be working his way up into the #1 leader to be playing. He's going to, for whales especially, I know they're using them, whales are going to be avoiding absolute zero cannons with this ability. So all you free-to-play players or low-rank players that are trying to get one up on whales by holding them off and trying to just cheap out with Kiryu and trains, it's not going to work because people are going to play smarter. Not just the whales. Regular players are going to be playing a lot smarter, especially with Kamen Rider. And if they see you with the Kiryu leader, they're going to hold it for the absolute zero cannon, okay? And then for everyone else, they're going to be dropping, spam units on you because if they can lock up your push, lock up your leader, and rush up to you, you can be in some serious trouble, and you're going to have to be forced to respond. Now, I also should mention, it's not featured in these videos, but units that are immune to stun also are not going to be immune to Kamen Rider's leader ability. Namely, Ultraman and Godzilla Earth are immune to stuns, which means when this ability activates and it stuns all the units on the field, if Earth or Ultraman are active, they will not be stunned. Okay? They are not going to be stunned. Just making that perfectly clear. Ultraman will hit outside of leader range, and Ultraman hits outside of leader range. Earth hits like a fucking truck. Neither of them are going to get stunned by this. They are immune to stun, and I am certain with the rise of the Spider, or Kumo Augment, and Kamen Rider as leaders, we're going to see more anti-stun units as time goes on, because this ability is really good. The decks that you can play him with he's plug and play. You can use this leader with any deck. But the decks that he works really well with, like the ones on screen, are really difficult to beat if you are not ready to counter this stun. If you do not have something ready to go for post-stun, forget about dropping something before the stun, because it's not going to matter. I'm talking about you have something ready to go. When that stun pops off, you can drop something down. You have to be able to respond to this. Because remember, Kamen Rider leaders are generally only going to be able to use this ability once or twice a match. So you really, when you see Kamen Rider leader, you got to know that that's coming at some point, and you really have to be kind of playing on the defensive, because if you see a large push coming and you don't really have an answer, they're going to pop that ability. You need to be able to drop something, all right? Because they're just going to run through your team. But that's what I got for you guys today. Kamen Rider is easily becoming one of my favorite leaders in Godzilla Battle Line. There are a ton of decks to put him in. There are a ton of strategies yet to be found using him in your deck. So let me know how you guys are using him, how you like him down below. If you got him, if you love him, if you hate him, let me know all of that in the comments. And I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.